Pozvonimo trase, visi na drivo trase, attention, everybody close the back, please. Dragi studije, korne. Trase drivo.
Good morning and welcome to Sigulda. Good morning everybody, welcome to Sigulda in Latvia as we are getting ready for the final day of sliding of the 2024 calendar year. Ho, 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 and Christmas is on its way. Snow this morning as we have our women's bobsleigh competition and the second of our two-mans coming up later in the day. Well, the track, as ever, has proved a tricky one to navigate, and particularly yesterday in the two-man competition, cold, hard ice made it very difficult. Start record in women's bobsleigh held by Lara Nolter and Deborah Levy. Lara, a multiple winner on this track. First 2 or 3 corners are absolutely critical for speed. By corner 4, you can easily have lost the race. Down through 5 and 6, and then this upper labyrinth, 7, 8, 9, and finally into corner 10. Big corner 10 leads to 11. Key to speed down at the bottom of the track. Get out of here wrong, and suddenly 12, and this one 13 and 14 are very dramatic. That's where the crashes were yesterday. Try not to bleed off speed into 15. Come out straight, don't hit the wall. Uphill into 16, and uphill all the way to the finish from here. Possible to lose a lot of speed there. Track record held by Kim Kalicki, set with Leonie Fiebig. Wishing Leonie a swift recovery. She hasn't been on the World Cup Tour this first part of the season, hoping to be back in the sled after Christmas. Lara Nolter leads the World Cup rankings from Lisa Bupwitz after just 1 race of the season so far. That was last week in Altenburg, and this is the second before Christmas. So there's a lot of bobsleigh to be catching up with once we get into the new year. As ever, athletes having to warm up in a bit of a slushy car park, particularly with the falling snow. Temperature hovering around 0-1 degrees, track -4. Elana Meyers Taylor behind you saw Kaillie Humphries getting ready for the women's bob. Returning to action after having her son last year. Margot Boch had a pretty decent day yesterday. And Cynthia Appiah and Melissa Lottholtz also. Kaysha Love of the USA trying to put last year behind her. She had a couple of crashes in last year's race. Melanie Hasler of Switzerland will be going today, but Sylvia Hoffman will not. Sylvia only had one completed trip down in training in the women's bob, crashed on the other 2 runs, and so the team have decided not to put her forward. So we are racing with 15 sleds today. Now the falling snow shouldn't affect the track much. It's covered pretty much all the way down from this elevated start area 5 stories up. Margot Boch with a brand new brakewoman, Naomi Desailly. She's done 1 Europe Cup race at Lake Placid in March, where they got a silver medal. And Margot's done 1 race here, November 2020, where she was 5th. But still her 2nd best World Cup result ever. Will she be the first one to show us what the track is like today? It hasn't had a glossy spritz. You can see it's a fairly matte-looking track surface. Snow will gradually drift into the edges, so you'll try and stay away as much as you can from the side of the track. Out of 11, nice exit. And steering here is really important. They're coming from a big steering driver's track like Altenburg. It shouldn't be too much of a change for them. Nice smooth looking run. She looked very smooth yesterday in the monobob. There's even more control in the women's sled because you got the weight in the back of the brakewoman. 56.71. Max Robert on the left, Bruno Michon on the right. Not quite sure how to judge that one. We will have to wait and see. The only judge they've got is what they saw and relative training times. Now, conditions in training may not have been remotely the same as today. With the falling snow, it's going to be frosty. So we'll wait and see how that affects the track. They didn't get in quite as neatly as they might have hoped. That was Margot as much as Naomi on the back handles. Not a bad run out of 14 up to 15. Well, let's see where that leaves them. Next up, Georgeta Popescu of Romania, our youth Olympic gold medalist in 2020, a junior on the back of her sled as well. 19-year-old Medea Muzeleta. Raced in the World Championships in Winterberg, has done 2 Europe Cup races, so making her World Cup debut here. This is only Georgeta's 5th World Cup race. Race yesterday in the monobob, finished in 18th place. She was 16th in Altenburg. Quiet through the first couple of corners. That means they're getting decent grip from the front runners. Little tap into 4 is all but unavoidable. Out of 6 and down into the labyrinth. And the 2 right-handers, 9, and set you up for 11 here. Not a bad exit, not a hard tap into 12. Out of 13 and into 14 through the danger zone. So track looking more benign here for the women's bobs than it was even for the monobob yesterday. Second best speed. And across the line with a 57.32. Well, she started 2 tenths behind the French. Whoops. So her rookie brakewoman, Andreea, just maybe a little too eager on the brakes, stopped the sled before it got all the way up. And she stands on the back of the little seat, drops in, and then, Andreea hopping there now. Let's watch that again. Don't see it quite so well from the front view. But has she tweaked something there, her brakewoman? That certainly had all the looks of something very uncomfortable as she was hopping into the sled. Maybe it was just her timing, but... All right, next up, Kaillie Humphries of the USA. She's got Emily Renner behind her today. Emily in her 11th World Cup. Got a bronze with Kaillie on her debut in Whistler in November 2022. And she's had a bronze medal with Elana as well, Lake Placid, December last year. So, November and December medals. Let's see if Kaillie Humphries has got enough today to get in there as well. Raced here 2 years ago. That was her only ever visit to the track in more than 15 years of bobsledding. She couldn't believe she'd never been here. This is the sort of track that she really responds well to. Very keen on a driver's track, Kaillie Humphries, and these are nice looking lines. 4200s up. Nearly 100 kilometers an hour heading down into 15. Long skid out of 15 into 16. That is going to rob her of about 2/10 by the line. 4800s up, 56.23. All right, starting 5:51. Here is where the big skid happens out of 15. Late pressure, just drifting the sled sideways away from her. Takes the tap and squares it up nicely into 16. Nice one from Kaillie. Saw husband Travis and baby Alden here at the track yesterday. I'm sure they'll be here for the second heat as well. Lisa Bukvits now, our world champion, the winner in the monobob yesterday, with Kira Lipper-Hyder behind her. Kira in her 12th World Cup, 6 medals already in her career. Made a debut in Innsbruck in January 2019. Got a silver medal with Mariama Yamanka that day. Lisa Bukvits, silver medalist in Altenburg, and the fastest starter in the women's field. Third and fourth here in last year's 2 races. 4200s up on Kaillie Humphries. She started 2900s in front. Still 4/10 in it. Away just a little bobbly down into 15. It's a little skid as well, not as dramatic as Kaillie's into 16. Second best speed, but that should increase her lead. 4300s, 55.80. Now when they stop on the uphill, can't hold the brakes on and stop the sled rolling back down, because the brakes sort of come in and dig in towards the front of the sled, so they don't have purchase if it's going backwards. It's not what they're designed for. See Lisa's head wobbling about as the G-forces take effect. Smile on her face. There she is with Kira. And our fan in the stands with the personalised messages. Catch up with a few more of those today, I think. Next up, Melissa Lotholz, 12th Women's Bobsleigh World Cup race for her. And today paired with Leah Walkenden. First time here in Sigulda. The North America's Cup champion made her World Cup Women's Bob debut back in January 2020 in Innsbruck. Had a year out after the Beijing Games and returned to action in North America. Canadians earning a second sled spot. So she joins Cynthia Appiah on the World Cup tour. 2700s back, not starting as quickly as Bookbits. 1800s behind, but late there. Manages to hang on to it. Got a steer in 13 into 14. Gets away with that. Little wake-up call, just a reminder, this track is hard. Big height in 15 and a late exit. Half a second back. And third place at the line, 56.44. th World Cup race for both athletes. Driver Melissa and for her brakewoman Leah. Not together, but have the same. Well, Leah made her debut in Whistler in November 2027. That doesn't sound right. November 2021, maybe. It's been a long week. Next up, as Lisa Buchwitz leads Kaillie Humphries and Melissa Lottholz, is Switzerland's Melanie Hasler. 31st World Cup start for Mel. She's got Mara Morell behind her on the sled today. Mara in her 12th World Cup made her debut with Martina Fontenev in Königssee in January 2021. And she's been with Melanie to claim 2 bronze medals in her career so far. 5:37 is a strong start. Mel drove nicely yesterday in the Monobob race as well. Finished in 7th place. She was 4th in Altenburg. Tantalisingly close to the podium. Nice exit out of 14. Keeps it pretty straight. Speed is decent. Quarter second back. Second place run at the moment behind Lisa Buchwitz. Third best speed. Across the line, avoids brushing the wall, 56.02. So second at the moment behind Lisa Buchwitz. Still 2 German sleds to go, of course. Great overhead view there in 11. You can watch where the driver is looking a long way through the turn, looking for that exit, trying to judge it perfectly. Right, so winter weather outside and ice sliding on the track. Cynthia Appiah with Skylar Sieben behind her. Skylar raced last week in Altenburg, her 2nd World Cup start. Cin's best race here was her 1st in February 2023. She finished in 6th place. World Cup best, a 4th place finish in Innsbruck. 5:49 getaway. So 4th fastest start. Let's see what she can produce today. 12th in the Monobob. Didn't really look like she felt she got the best out of it at all. This is a tricky track. Best speed of all, though, for the Canadian. It's a square hit in 12, out of 13, neatly into 14. Exit here is really important for the speed. 5th best speed out of 14. But clean from 15 uphill into 16, that'll help keep the speed on board. Just ahead of teammate Melissa Lotholtz at the line. How much is just? 1/100th of a second in front is just. Lyndon Rush there, talking about the sled moving around, saying, oh, I thought it was like monobobs. Well, they're in 11, got a little bit of an early height. Just holding the sled on the line she wanted. Took the tap in 12, it's either that or you come off a fraction late and roll into 12, which is definitely not advisable or desirable. Lisa Buchwitz the leader after 7 sleds, and next we get to Germany's Kim Kalicki. Kim with Nele Skuten behind her, Nele in her 13th World Cup, Kim her 34th. 33 previous World Cups, 29 medals for Kim Kalicki. The 2023 world champion in St. Moritz. Bronze in Altenburg, 4th place in the mono here. She's had a gold, 3 silvers and a bronze in Sigulda. She is definitely among our front runners, and with a 5:32 start, giving away a 10th to Lisa Buchwitz and Kira Lipperheider. But with more driving experience, bringing that back down already to just 400ths. Is she going to be in the red, in the green, 500s up. Nice looking drive so far. 1500s up, and the best speed of all from Kim Kalicki. Into corner 15, little late exit. Oh, and hits hard going into 16. Had the best speed going in. Had the best speed coming out. 55.44. Well, that has raised the mark. Pretty decent looking run from Kim Kalicki. Exit of 15 cost her. Came down a whisker early. And flopped off the end. Got bumped away. Just about avoided the wall, but that sent her left into 16. Sled squirreling away under her. That taking speed out of it. Not a bad looking run for Kim Kalicki though. Olympic champion, world champion Lara Nolte now. Silver and gold in the 2 races last year. Kalicki took a gold and a silver. So they are honours even here. And 100th quicker at the start, 5:31. And it's these hundreds that may end up deciding the race between our lead group. 900s up. Let's see how she does in 11. Came on nicely. Out of 13, into 14. Exit of 14, she's got the speed. She's got a very handy lead indeed as well, Lara Nolte. Getting it right all the way down the fast bottom part of the track. Top speed is not the factor. The cleanliness of the run is 55.03. Well, it's a very different day to how it was in February. In February, Kim Kilicki, Eleni Phoebe's track record, 50.66. We're 4.5 seconds slower than that today. That might possibly be because they have not polished and spritzed the track after yesterday's slew of two-man crashes. Well, the moist air and the frostiness of the track aren't going to add to the speed, but that was a great-looking run from Lara Nolte. Silver yesterday in the monobob, but the winner in Altenburg is the leader after the first 10 sleds. Next up, Andreea Grecu of Romania, the Teodora Vlad behind her. Andreea with a good record on this track, both in monobob and women's bob. She's been European silver medalist in both. February 2020, took a World Cup silver and European silver. 5:43, the 6th best start. And yesterday, she outdrove her start in the mono, and she was still starting well. Something about this track that gels nicely with Andreea Grecu. Look at that, nice looking lines. Now, they don't have the latest German kit, but this is a really nice looking drive. Oh, 5th best speed. It was a top 4 run. She might slip behind Melanie Hasler of Switzerland. Still the 5th best speed. Low in 16, taps the wall, still 4th, 55.97. So it's Lara Nolte, Kim Kilicki and Lisa Buchwitz. And behind them, Andreea Grecu, Melanie Hasler and Kaillie Humphries. Well, off the 6th best start, she's driven herself into 4th place. Top 3 all started in the top 3. The 4th best starter, Melanie Hasler, in 5th position at the moment. Teodora Vlad on the right, and Andreea Grecu on the left. So from the USA, Elana Meyers Taylor crashed on her debut here in 2018. She has been a winner here, came back and won the next race. Azaria Hill behind her, Azaria's 6th World Cup. Got a bronze medal with Kaysha Love on her debut in La Plagne. Won with Elana in Sigulda last year. Tenth best start, 5:52. And already out driving that start. Giving away 0.2 of a second to the race leader. And that means that it's always going to be hard. You've got to really outperform them comprehensively to undo that deficit from the start. 3rd best speed, 10th at the start, she's up to 7th, could be a top 6 run. It is a top 6 run, 300s ahead of Kaillie Humphries. Sylvia Hoffman there on the left-hand side, not getting to race today, raced in the monobob yesterday. Just a little early on. That was a good looking run from Elana. Tiny late flop out of 14, but controlled it beautifully. Got the sled over to driver's left. Azaria's head was popping up there. She'd lost where she was in the track. So Elana Meyers Taylor in the top half dozen, and the third of our US sleds, Kaysha Love. Had a torrid time here last year. She's got Jazz Jones behind her. Crashed in race 1 in February with Kaysha. Race with Kaillie Humphries in Altenburg last week, Jasmine. So let's see what Kaysha Love can produce today, 5:36. 6th place in the Monobob. She finished 9th in Altenburg last week in the women's bobsleigh. It'll tap into 4. Just 600s back off a very strong start, 5:36. Only 500s behind the leader. 400s. Really nice looking drive from Kaysha Love. Everybody crashes. Same as in motor racing, you've just got to put it behind you. Only the 6th best speed. 5th best speed. This is going to be 2nd at the line. Kaysha Love, what a drive. And again, not quite with the speed. Brakes on a little early. I think it was probably a bit quicker in training. Jasmine Jones being enthusiastic to get it stopped. Super Kayla Fragilistic Expialido. She's very good. Super Kaysha, rather. Very good. Well, nice view of the overhead in 11. Just a little worry there. And do you know what? If it weren't for that, she might be within a 10th of the lead. Nice driving indeed. And you know, last year here, Jasmine Jones there was stuck on ahead by Kaysha in the first race. No question, get back in the sled. Yep, here we go. Katrin Beierl of Austria with Nicola Pichler behind her. Nicola's only done 1 World Cup race before, and that was here in February. 5:42 the getaway. 12th place in Altenburg in the women's bob for Katrin Beierl. She's got the driving ability to get into the top 10 here. 7th best start. Most of the athletes in the field will be using Latvian-built sleds. Whoa! In big trouble there. I thought she was going. Best speed of all. Maybe that was designed that way, using the looping height to get the speed. Wow. Living on the edge, 4th place run for Katrin Beierl. All right, maybe that big height was what she was planning to do. She looked very happy with that run. Okay, here we go then. So this is out of 11. Out of 12 rather, into 13, big looping height. A late exit, but she drives it onto 14, gets away with that, and has big speed out of 14 as well. She's 1200s behind Kim Kalicki, but for that hard transition, 13-14, and the tap out of 14, that was a top 3 run. Kelly van Petegem of Belgium now, another debutante, Ginity de Clare. First race, Europe Cup here in December 2023, took gold with Kelly, and she has done 1 more Europe Cup race, Junior Worlds and the World Championships. So a very new brakewoman. Coach Jan van Nieuwenhuis shouting them out. And Kelly actually has got pre-driving history of this track. This was her only World Cup start as a brakewoman with Anne here in Sigulda in February 2020. Nice smooth drive so far. Fourth best speed, being rewarded for her neat and tidy line. It's a fine balance between reining the sled in and letting it have its head. Best speed of all. Who's been whispering the Belgian sleds? Or have they got Olaf back out from under the covers? Best speed of all from Kaillie van Petegem. Fourth place finish. Language Timothy. I mean, absolutely. And look at the snow falling. So, if the track is getting slower, nobody told Kaillie that was going to be the case. Two big runs from the last two sleds. Katrin Beierl, now fifth, was fourth, but 100th ahead of her, Kaillie van Petegem of Belgium. Stefan Freeling, calm down. What a run. Well, you can see the smiles on their faces. Final sled then, Victoria Tynanska and Lucia Mokrosova. It's their 12th World Cup start. The two have raced together since their debut in Winterberg in January 2023. 5:74 getaway. Nice and quiet so far. Maybe the slightly frostier track is just giving them that little modicum of control that gives them the confidence to let the sled run. Second best speed off the slowest start. Tynanska is flying, and she's got a good run there as well. Third best speed. This might be top six. Lisa Buchwitz is currently down to sixth position. Sixth best speed. Unbelievable. She is tied to the 100 with Lisa Buchwitz. Wow, the last 3 or 4 sleds from Kaysha Love down have absolutely turned this race on its head. What now? Kaysha Love second, Kaillie van Petegem fourth, Katrin Beierl fifth, Victoria Tynanska sixth. That's what the last 4 sleds have done. And Lisa Buchwitz, who was in the bronze medal position, is now tied for sixth. Kim Kilicki, who was in the silver medal position, is now in third. Lauren Alter is the leader, so the track appears to be getting faster in the damp conditions. All right, nevertheless, our race leader is still Lauren Alter, with Leonie Kluvik making her World Cup debut behind her. Leonie's done 1 race before, Junior Worlds in January 2023 with Lena Bomer. And now she is in the lead. Kaysha Love and Jasmine Jones, ahead of Kim Kilicki and Nella Scooten. And then Kaillie van Petegem with her rookie brakewoman, Gianti de Clare, ahead of Katrin Beierl. Katty with Nicola Pichler behind her. And then tied for 6th, Lisa Buchwitz, Kira Lipperheider, and Victoria Tynanska, Lucia Mokrosova. Andreea Grecu, Teodora Vlad, 8th, ahead of Melanie Hasler, Mara Morel. And then Elana Meyers Taylor and Azaria Hill rounding out the top 10. Well, we will go 15 down to 1 in reverse order in the second heat, the final one before the Christmas break for the women. 11:30, 10:30 CET, 09:30 GMT, 04:30 Eastern, and that is in 55 minutes from now. We'll see you then.